Hi everyone. We were reflecting today and thinking about we're at a time of the year when there's a lot of change happening, and we were looking at what is important to us, our families, our goals, and really our visions for the next 1, 3, kind of 5 years out. And so we've all kind of taken the time to sit individually with our partners and our families and to put some of those thoughts and visions actually down on paper, because we all know that you can have all these ideas, and when you put it down on paper, it becomes a little bit more real and you put it out there.
How do you guys do your vision boards? Do you write it in a journal, or some people do posters? What do you do?
We actually hold the vision board,
Events,
an
yeah.
event for people to come. We provide magazines and all the supplies and give
Nice.
everyone boards, and really to have everyone just, it takes some time, and we usually have, a little reflective time,
Mhm.
and then think of dream, and what could happen, and then what, because again, if you don't put it down, it's really just an idea.
I like those because I actually did one last year, and I still have it up in my closet when I get dressed every day, about reminding me what my goals are.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've all found it really helpful, and it's amazing to see at the end of the year, oh my gosh, that happened. And that's amazing, we're on that right path.
Yeah.
So the vision boards are awesome. If you haven't ever done one, you can Google it. There's a lot of ways to do it, journal, pictures, you can pull pictures from the internet, however it works for you.
My husband's a whiteboard guy.
That's
Yeah.
So,
And you were talking about the importance of doing this with your husband.
Yeah, we sat down and, life has its ups and downs, and I always call them your highs in the mountains and your valleys. And when you go through those moments, it's sitting down and saying, okay, what do we really want? And so we took a look at really our 15-year plan, which is kind of our path towards retirement. And we don't see retirement as no longer working. It's just really that opportunity to go travel. Our kids will be in college or out of the house, to be able to go visit them, fund the life that we really want, so that financial freedom. And then backpedaling that into saying, okay, so if we do that, what are the different ways that we can make that happen to live a quality life we want now, but to truly live the life we want and the freedom to be able to have that. And so, really the thing we talked heavily about is paying ourselves first. A lot of times we think of, we pay off debt, or let me pay this off, or I'm gonna go on this trip and do that. And so instead of paying yourself first, as in putting the money and setting it aside, be it in a retirement account or an investment property, because the power behind money is time. And so looking at what is that vision, and then bringing that to a calendar and saying, okay, we have commitments that we have to fulfill. And you can say, I'm going to make this much money and work this many hours, but there's kids, there's family, there's life, there's your health. So when you plug those things in your calendar, what becomes real with the time you have? And then how do you then create that vision that you want for that quality of life? And so we always say we have our 5 F's. Sounds silly, but we have finance, fitness, and family.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the core values to our family. And so where do those things plug into the calendar?
Mm-hmm.
And what does it exactly look like for this year, for 3 years, for 5 years, to the 15-year goal?
So you had a specific thing because your husband can retire in 12 years, right?
Yeah, but the retirement, we have options. We have a 25 years left on our mortgage. So we could refi that into a 15-year and pay it off basically at the same time as he retires and not have a mortgage. But we also have a retirement account, an IRA, and we like to supplement the retirement through real estate investments. And so the power behind money, again, is time. So we talked about, do we pay debt off first, as in our mortgage, or do we instead keep our 25 years on the property and look at buying a rental property each year for 5 years? So setting money aside each year, paying ourselves first, putting money aside so we can buy that property each year, and at the end of 5 years, we own 5 properties. 7 years of income on those properties and paying down the mortgage. And then for the remaining 7 years, being able to put the extra income that we were putting towards buying properties towards our mortgage and paying that off. So ideally in that 12 to 15 years, the mortgage is paid off, he has his retirement income, and we have cash flow from the properties, creating really the life that we want to have. And so that does take sacrifice. And so we have to then look at our dream life, saying what are we really, really willing to commit to? And a big thing this year we've looked at is the power of simplicity. So having more quiet time, more time at home with the family. We don't have to do everything, but being purposeful with the time that we have. And so that's kind of how our vision has played out for moving forward.
That's a great long-term vision. It's interesting too, the short term, it can be useful too, particularly for people who are in debt. We are just finishing a loan for a woman who is just drowning in debt. And she has good income, but she's living paycheck to paycheck. So we are consolidating her debt in a refinance, pulling cash out of her house, which is a benefit of having a house you can refinance on,
Absolutely.
right? That will pay off all her debt. Interestingly, she has so much debt that her interest rate is fairly high. It's about 4.99%. But she would be eliminating $700 of debt per month just by doing that.
That's phenomenal.
By eliminating the debt, and we've told her in 6 months, we're gonna refinance again to do a rate and term refinance. So your interest rate is 4.99, but you've eliminated $700 a month in debt. Now your FICO score is gonna improve, your debt to income ratio is gonna improve, and then we're gonna do that rate and term refi probably down to about 3.5%. That's gonna save her about $2,000 a month.
And if she can do that and save the $2,000 a month,
Yep.
then thinking through how do I want to in the long term use that $2,000 and truly setting it aside. Because we talked about the power of you can now have less expenses, but somehow you still seem to spend it.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of saying, well, now I have an extra $2,000 a month, I might have to watch my food budget as much, or I can go shopping a little bit more, I can go out to eat. Instead of that, saying, what do I want to earmark this money for? That can be life changing, whether it's a portion towards a nonprofit you want to contribute back to, you know, a 501(c)(3) or something, or if there's something that you want to invest in, like a property that she can invest in. So what does,
Well, that's where that vision, what does
Yeah.
that vision look like? What would I do if?
Yeah.
So-
And did you find that your vision was different than your husband's vision?
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
guys made your husbands do it too,
So we
right?
talked about that, if that end ultimate goal is similar,
Mm-hmm.
then the paths to get there can be a little bit different. You can have different passions and different ways of wanting to get to the same goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay,
Mm-hmm.
so definitely.
As long as you're together on the goal.
Yes.
Because
yeah, because you hold each other accountable. It's your spouse. You're the one going to bed at night saying, if health was your goal, did you eat the food that you made meal prep today instead of having the snacks? And did you go to the gym and work out today? Or if it's financial, did you take your homemade lunch
Mm-hmm.
instead of going out to a restaurant today?
Or did you
And
stick to the
the
shopping
conversation.
list when you went to Costco, or did you get sidetracked by the new, holiday things that are out there and
$500
you know,
later, yeah.
exactly.
And it's not judgment, it's just working together and being supportive of each other, because the more that I would say that you can't nitpick at somebody, it's just really how can we work together
Mm-hmm.
to achieve the goals that we have, and they don't have to be an exact match. It's just part of marriage and part of a relationship is support, and it's the same we provide for our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Having them do a vision board and helping them achieve their goals,
Mm-hmm.
and not saying, well, you didn't win that soccer game today, so you're not going to do this. That's awesome, you played hard, what can we do better to improve those skills?
Absolutely.
So,
Got it.
yeah.
So think about that vision and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.